Hello, storyteller. Storytelling Ron. I miss Dungeons and Dragons. Boy, do I miss it. I miss the old school style of role playing and stories, and of course, I'm doing Christians in Space and Dark Ages and Apostles of the Epoch, all Christian, Earth-based timeline. But I do definitely miss a stack of books here. I do miss the fantasy, the cutting loose, letting go, and being pagan. I'm not going back. I do miss it, and I do want to touch on it because I want to make these games or certain settings in those have that same joy and flavor that you and I both really love about Dungeons and Dragons. And I am not, the old Dungeons and Dragons to me and the old stuff to me was not a satanic panic. It was good. It was good because the culture had a Christian ethos, right? The morality of the culture was Christian. I mean, there was definitely sinners and bad stuff and plenty of porn in 70s and 80s, and there was all kinds of criticizing the church, but everyone knew that the church was around. Everyone knew that the foundation of what they believed, the 80s music and all that was still Christian, and they had to deal with the society that's still Christian. Everyone wants to be a sinner. Okay, that's a Christian rule or tenet. Everyone's a sinner. Everyone wants to sin. We all want a sin of some kind. I'm going off on tangents here, but whatever. But this whole, so we want darkness, we want scariness, we want crazy stories and cool dungeon adventures and being Conans and being crazy and silly. We do want that. We do as a human. We're made that way by God, and we want a challenge, a confrontation, but of course in our imagination as opposed to reality, because. But we want to do it in our imagination, and God is a storyteller, and He wants us to be storytellers as well. So we guess we have to know good and evil to do it. Anyway, I'm going off on there, but I want to reminisce here about D&D stuff because I recently got a comment from somebody. This is what sparked this video. He's commenting on my Tomb of Annihilation Merchant Intrigue. Thank you, Samuel Johnson. 734. I don't think he's aware that I'm a hardcore right-wing Christian poster now, but your videos are so awesome. This level of world building completely brings the city to life, and as a player, this sort of prep really shows. Yeah, I did have a great time DMing that Tomb of Annihilation, and especially the Portnoy and Zaru and the intrigue, and I created all these different things. I'm going to go through some of what I do and stuff for it. Now, I'm not doing this because I'm promoting Dungeons and Dragons. I'm doing it because I want to translate this feeling, notion, sense of imagination into the Christian RPGs. And we're there. We're close. I mean, we're there. The one thing I feel like I'm missing is this, like just having, books of settings and stories that we can draw on. Now, this is a terrible book, actually. As a 45-year veteran GM, this is a terrible book. But in one sense, in the sense of you have so much work to do. It's just full of fluff and stuff, and I find that very strange about these books is they just throw in a bunch of stuff that you really can't use. I cannot use this. I think that's why like Shadow Dark and some of these newer games are much more popular. Is they just give you quick, concise things, and this is like to me filler. I feel like it's a corporate thing. It's like a filler corporate thing, and these maps are not usable. Like you have to go buy it again and. So I don't mean to go that direction, but what I do love about this stuff is how, and this is the positive part about these books is they really spark the imagination so that you as a GM can go crazy and start creating things that you want, using this as the setting, the framework, the blueprint for it. I guess they're just fun to read. They're kind of like a novel reading through them, but it's just so ridiculous how much whatever. I'm not gonna. So what I did, I made a video on how to simplify these maps. Like each room, has, and this is traditional, obviously. Each room has its own thing, right? And so in the videos, and I'm going to kind of thumb through those in a sec. I said, just do them sectionally. Like each area has a a gang of bad guys or a gang of monsters. Don't have them go room to room. Have an entire area be their that thing that they can go around and encounter stuff. But what's weird, this is what sparked my YouTube channel actually was this book. This book, Storm King's Thunder. I GM'd through that one. Tomb of Annihilate. Well, no, that one came later, and Icewind Dale came later. And this is like my. So the most YouTube videos views I get are based off of the ambient music I did for this. The music, so I was definitely, this stuff was definitely hitting that spinal, whatever that opium cord of imagination, where I just really was became like a drug addict, heroin addict for this sense of this setting, or a sense of a creepy D&D fantasy setting, thing. And I obviously get the most views from this stuff, and to this day, this is what gets watched the most, the music stuff. So why am I not doing more of the music stuff? I can't because I'm doing stuff for the Lord. I love what I'm doing, and so that's what I'm doing. And of course, I literally just erased my entire potential audience, and I started over with 0, and now I have like, I don't know, a few dozen, which is great, or a couple dozen or whatever. But doing it for the Lord, because I love the Lord. I just want to go through. I mean, it was fun to hold these. They're hardbound, and of course, let me do a plug. I rarely do that. My Christians in Space books are hardbound now. I'm really, really, really happy about it. I'm gonna fess up one thing. Oh, these are actually stuff I gotta send out. I will fess one thing. These I do a couple of erratica updates, so there's always going to be a couple things. I got it on my website. There's a link in the For the Lord section of my website. There's a couple of like fixes, and they're clarifications, little cleanups and stuff like that. So it's nothing major, but WotC has that too. So, but I love this hardbound now that is like this. I love that. That I finally feel like I'm coming into fruition with the games as far as having like a complete game. But what I don't have, or I do have one. Where is it? Oh, this one. I do have one book that does have an entire campaign setting of like several planets with battle maps, and these battle maps are usable because what I show you here, you can download, and you can buy it actually, but you can download these pieces as modular pieces and create your own worlds, and it just gives you an example. So you could doodle this out for yourself if you wanted to, but it gives you examples of how you can create the work of your own different battle maps, and then of course I give you the stats for all the different creatures in that planet, on that planet, and sort of the culture that they have, and it's very basic. So there, this is the amount of pages I have. Right here, there's some more creatures and what they can do. But each planet is like this, like 2 or 3 or 4 pages at the most. This one's a little more because I wanted to add a little like this is their spaceship, and their spaceship is I don't know if you can see it. Their spaceship is a battle map that you're gonna deal with. And their layers and their are battle maps that you can create yourself. They're modular pieces that are reusable, and I kind of explain what each area is with all this, the rules here, everything. Like, let me go. So let's see here. So this planet Ross 128 has got little corporate information and got the basics of the planet and what's going on that planet. And then it's got the Moog Maleficents, the villains, and then some sort of and then the scary creatures that are also living there or have. The biodreads have infected the planet as well. Oh, there's a couple more pages because So that's it. It's and it explains you those kind of planet, and you can kind of create from this. You can create a bunch of different scenarios and settings and what an area would look like. And they got like a base there in the swamp, and then there's all the stuff around. And this is something you can create modular with the assets that I have on my site, or you can create them with whatever you got. Create your own. Setting, with your own props and sets and stuff, and I do that for every planet. Every planet has I try to make it unique. Like this is a floating space station for a corporation. So I'm trying working my buttocks off here to create this, for the Christians RPGs, but but for the Christian thing, but not this like filler text, right? This is full of long filler text. and not usable as a GM, right? Not usable. I mean, I just want a couple of lines there to explain to me something, and that's it. Then I'm going to go off and do my own thing. But it's just, and these maps I had to redo them over and over. To, you know, the Groothaug, I had to redo it over and over to get it right for the play. But what I do love about these is how it really does spark the imagination to get going on some sort of cool setting. And I get it. We want this kind of fantasticalness, you know. And I'm reeling it in for the Christians RPG. I'm reeling it back in a little bit, and especially for the Dark Ages. But in the Apostles of the Epoch and the Christians of Space one, you can totally do fantastical and crazy, and still be biblically adherent and Christian Science adherent as well. By the way, in the Apostles of the Epoch, you know, there's all this radiation and mutations, so you can go wild with that. You can have trolls, you can have crazy bugs, you can have, you know, monsters, for sure, even demonic ones, because there's all kinds of like lost sci-fi, you know, lost ancient tech, AI, killer robots, you know, mad scientists, mutants, but it's all still, you know, being fantastical, but still biblically adherent. And Christians in Space obviously is even crazier like that. And there's a ton of AI terraforming planets, like AR terraforming factories, you know, that are creating the all the creatures and stuff, and then like making clones of humans and then genetically modifying them to be sharkmen or dogmen, which makes more sense to me, you know, as a sci-fi than say Star Wars or Star Trek's, you know, evolution or whatever they're claiming. So you got that in, I don't know, but so you got that in my settings, and I just need to, you know, I'm a one guy doing it by myself, and I'm trying to work on settings. I'm working on the Dark Ages, working on a really cool campaign setting right now, and I successfully funded a Kickstarter, so I'm happy about that. I mean, barely successfully funded. Thank you guys. I only like 12 or 15 backers. It's really hard. It is really hard, and I'm having a tough time with it, but I'm persevering because I love the Lord, and I want this type of evangelism and church planning is what we are sorely lacking as Christians. I mean, there's plenty of revival going on, so I'm very happy about that. But what we don't have is church planning evangelists out there. We do have it, but we don't have it in my circles, the RPG culture. In the RPG culture, in the pop culture, we don't represent. The evangelism church planning is not represented, which is really weird, because the entire premise of Western culture and of entertainment comes from Christianity. We Christians took Greek mythology and all the pagan mythos, and we took out the religion of it, the scared manipulation, power grab of paganism, and we turned it into, you know, fun entertainment. We gentrify, colonialize and gentrify and family friendlyize pagan, horrific pagan stuff, right? The Christmas tree, Easter bunny, all of that is gentrified by us. Halloween, people, you know, Christians say we shouldn't celebrate Halloween. This is for another video, but whatever. We shouldn't celebrate Halloween. I think as a Christian, I think we should, because we take paganism, gentrify it, and make it family friendly and fun and silly. We lighten it up and still have fun, because we want to have fun. We want to have a tinge of the roller coaster ride. We want to put our toes into darkness, but make it silly. And that's what I love about it. And this is my contentious thing to Christians that don't like that we touch on pagan stuff. And I know they don't have the appearance of evil. Leslie, turn it into good, purposely. But here's one. When they say, you know, then that's an appearance of evil, I'll tell you the most evil symbol of paganism is this thing that people would get nailed to. They would get nailed to it naked and hung up for days along the roads to show people, don't you dare defy our emperor or God, or gods or whatever. Horrific way to die. Not as bad as the pole, but that was pretty horrific. But being crucified. And yet we have turned that symbol of the cross into the most hopeful, joyful, loving thing. Thusly, what the heck, you know? If you're gonna use the cross, or hold the cross dearly and pray to it, why are you criticizing the Christmas tree or the Easter bunny or the? We have turned them into silly fun things. The only reason that you say, oh, well, that's a gateway to paganism is because you're just not teaching your children correctly. I went off on a tangent. Anyway, I want to get to some of these YouTube videos that I've done. Okay, so these, I'm reminiscing here. I'm reminiscing. And am I going to go back? No, absolutely not. I have no desire to go back. But I want to bring that reminiscence, that fun God, there's like something in the back of your brain gets like opioid joy. I want to bring that back to the imagination that these sparked. I want to bring that into the RPG, Christian RPGs, which I have, but I want more. You always want more. And I want more settings and more content. And I'm trying to get some of the players that I have to do some stuff, but it's a lot of work, and they got lives, so I don't blame them. But they definitely want me to GM them for them. That's for sure. I try to take just give it a hard time. I try to take like a week off here and there, and they're like, no, you can show up and do some work, which is good. So look at I did these playlists and stuff, DM tips for Tomb of Annihilation. The Icewind Dale. I love doing these. I mean, these are fun. I did all kinds of fun stuff. I made all these dungeons. I made all this artwork. It's on my website too. I'm just reminiscing here because the guy, when I got that comment, I went back and looked at it. Like the Tomb of Annihilation, I did these DM tips for Portnine and Zario, and it was great. I gotta, all right, I'm talking about DM tips for Portnine and Zario. I gotta go talk to my wife real quick. She's about to leave. DM tips, Portnine and Zario. That's what I'm on. Okay, so I was talking about DM tips, Portnine and Zaru. That was definitely a fun one to run. I just to do the spoiler. I don't have that. It was definitely great. I love the Tomb Annihilation, the whole setting, the jungle thing. That is definitely what's lacking, and of course I don't have 7,000 years of D&D material to support what I'm after here, but I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying and keep working on stuff, and I'm hoping others will do the same. For the games that I'm doing for a Christian RPG, evangelism, and church planning. And there's tons of history in the world to do this, because all of this stuff is influenced by world history, right? So in some fashion. And I don't mind adding in the mysterious, the myth, the demonic at all in the games. So yeah, I'm just looking at this and reminiscing about how I've done a lot of stuff. I mean, I was having a great time doing it, and they got pretty good views. I could have kept going, but I didn't. I didn't because this one was great. The Dragons of Storm King's Thunder. And it really opened my eyes up to intrigue and creating intrigue. And I mean, I'm pretty experienced. I know what I'm doing, but like this DM Merchant Intrigue was the one that he did, and I just had a great time doing that one. And I role played it out. I DM'd it out with the players, and it was great. They didn't encounter every merchant, but they went around to a few, and there was definitely lots of story links going on there. Lots of a spider web of stories that they were all wanting and dealing with and finding out about, and that was great. I got to do that. I got to get that going for this Christian RPG. I got to get like Milan or Paris or Rome, and that same sort of merchant intrigue going on with the witches and stuff in 14th century. So it's just a lot of stuff that I want to do, and to get you and me to get back to that church history, get back to evangelism and church planning, and how we have to do it every new generation. It starts over again almost. It's a constant. It's a constant to deal with witches and paganism and all the craziness that's going on in the world today. I mean, the child trafficking and slavery is exploding across the world because the church culture is at its weakest in a long time. We have succumbed. We have retreated because we are told to retreat. The state in America is taken over, whereas the church is nothing. The separation of church and state is not working because the state is controlling everything. It is controlling the agenda, the schools, the hospitals, the universities, the doctors. It's controlling your business, how you run your business. So there is no separation of church and state. Because before the church used to run everything, and the church ran it through charitable methods. It did not force anyone to do anything. It asked people to do things, and it made them feel guilty and shamed if they acted horribly. But that's not the case with the state. The state is the Marxist communist state, and it is controlling everything. And now what do we have? We have Kamala Harris, DMV style government, and it is run by idiots, and it's foolish and corrupted. Deep state, mainstream media, all of it. So where am I going with this? We need to bring back evangelism and church planting. We need to bring that culture back that permeates all of culture. Ergo, the RPG culture. I'm asking you Christians to not painfully, don't tear off the Band-Aid that quickly, but slowly work your way into getting out of Dungeons & Dragons and all these pagan RPGs and start pushing Christianity in your RPGs. Start creating games. I started with 0. I now have a dedicated group every Thursday that I play online, Christians in Space, and we're doing a bunch of different things. I could have 2 or 3 other groups. I totally could, but I don't have the time. I got to work on the material. So it has worked for me. I'm legitimately doing this, and I'm happy and I'm joyful, and I've got so much to do. I'm constantly working on it, and it's for the Lord. It's a fellowship. It's a ministry. We don't have to deal with LGBTQ people coming in and the trans and trying to be deceptive and take over and control the group or the whatever. And if someone is misbehaving now, I don't need it anymore. I was a little open. I was a little less choosy in the beginning, but now I'm going to be picky. If someone is not that good or troublesome or whatever, and no one is in my group except for me. I'm the most troublesome person there. But I'm having a great time, and I'm having people who are brothers and sisters in Christ, and we talk openly of it, and we make fun. We do the male-female jokes, lightly, because we know as Christians we need to not be blasphemers of the Lord, but we also know we need to not be blasphemers of each other. I mean, that's foundational to us. We need to be caring. We need to be funny and silly, but not mocking and scoffing and blasphemers. But and there is that line where we could cross it. But if we do, we apologize and get back. Definitely. We definitely have that as Christians. We are sinners inherently. We want to do dark, silly, crazy things. We have dark, silly, crazy thoughts. But we know there's a God, there's a Jesus, there's a Holy Spirit, there's an eternal judge. And so thusly we want to get back to being good and sinning less and less, kind of a thing. And it's great. So I'm pleased if anyone has gotten this far on this video. My goal is to get this, and this. None of the new stuff. The new stuff really sucks. But this kind of a feel in the Christian RPGs, for sure. I'm working on that. I'm working on the new Dark Ages Kickstarter, and I'm adding in more depth kind of stuff like this, more pushing the boundaries a little bit so you can have a little more fun and craziness in it. But I mean, I'm still having fun, with what I've been doing, but I definitely want, this sense of fun darkness in it. Around here. I really did enjoy those. They really brought the imagination, they really sparked the imagination. And I want that in this game as well. I want more of it, rather. So I'm working hard on that, and I just wanted to make a video about that because of the guy that did the comment. And I still want to do less political ranty stuff, but then again I have to anyway because the world is on fire with paganism. The witches are having a renaissance. In the 14th century they declared their open allegiance to Satan. Today they're declaring the renaissance of witches. So I think that this is the new age of this sort of radicalism on all ends, on Christians, on pagans, on everyone. We're all being sorted, and I'm wondering if it's the end times, because of it. Because it is the Bible says that Israel, in the end, Israel exists, which it didn't till 1967. So all the people who were fearing the end times before then, during the 1000 AD, 500 AD, 14th century or whatever, the one thing they didn't have was Israel. Israel did not exist. And that's an amazing thing, that from the completion of the Bible, when the Bible was completed, it said there would be an Israel, and there wasn't. So how could the Bible, that's crazy. That is ridiculous. But yet here we are, in 2024, and there's an Israel. And the Bible said in the end times there would be an Israel. So in the end time, when the end time is coming, Israel will exist, and it will be surrounded and attacked. What do you know? We're also waiting for the Temple of Solomon supposed to be built. So that's interesting. That's supposed to happen. And if not, then the temple, I don't know, maybe that's some sort of symbolism there. But also Israel is supposed to have a peace with the enemy, and then it gets betrayed. So I wonder if that's happening now. I mean, that's... And it says that in the Bible. They'll get peace. I'm not going to find the verse. You got to find it. But they're going to get peace. The 7-year thing. They're going to get peace, and then suddenly they're going to get betrayed and have a war. And we're all supposed to be enduring that. So I don't know. Is it happening right now? Feels like it. Is it the end times? I don't know, because I'm not supposed to know. Only the Lord is. I personally am asking him to wait 600 years so that we can have all these cool storylines that I've put out here. But anyway, just love the Lord, and I'm just trucking along, and I'm hoping you can join in with this as well. It's kind of an open license, but you got to be very Christian in the sense for me to even allow you to tie in with this. But anyway, all right. So in the game of life, everybody, man, you got to give up that pagan RPG stuff and work on a Christian RPG. Evangelism, church planting. Okay, steal my ideas. Evangelism, church planting. Please steal my ideas. I don't even mind if pagans do, because it'll expose them even more, and that'll give you and me even more ammo to say, hey, church evangelism, church planting, definitely. You think right now a lot of Christians think, oh, let's keep religion and politics out of it, but if the pagans steal my idea of evangelism, church planting, you Christians who are wanting to stay out of it are going to wake up, right? So whoever steals my idea, please do, because evangelism and church planting is what I want Christians to wake up to. All right, the game of life. Roll holy dice.